Good morning, ladies. How are you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing great. Are you excited about Women in Construction Week?
Oh, so excited.
Yes. So I just wanted to hop on here today and ask a few questions to inspire future women in construction and how we can grow, in this industry. And Kim, if you want to start off with kind of your story, and then we'll lead to Raegan. I'll ask some questions and chime in. But so how did you find your way in the construction industry?
So quite honestly, I fell into the industry. I had a daycare before I started construction. I just kind of got tired with my running my own business. And I had a best friend that worked for Precision Walls and was in need of somebody that could come and was organized and, kind of help him out on a big job. And just from, the very first week I was there, I just loved construction. Um, I think just having the dynamic of different things every day, learning new things every day, I think that's what kind of hooked me. And, of course, being a leader and, training people and just evolving, like every project is different. So, I did really just fall into the industry. And then, work with Precision for, roughly 4 or 5 years and was working on a job with New Atlantic. And that is when New Atlantic hired me. And I started out as assistant superintendent and, have grown through the last, 22 years with New Atlantic to senior PM role. So that's my story.
Kind of similar story. I kind of fell into it as well. So I understand that. But Raegan, you graduated from UNC Charlotte. That was last year, if my memory
Yes.
serves me correct. And how did they prepare you for your career in construction?
I think they really use the proper classes to kind of get you prepared. I think they really hone in on having industry members be a part of the curriculum. The program director is a big industry member, and they have an IAB board that kind of helps support students, and they help with getting people internships and jobs. And I think that really helps students like myself to learn every part of construction. I think that got me prepared to come on into this industry, and I have had two internships before coming to New Atlantic, and I think that has really prepared me for coming here and just kind of making the best of construction.
And kind of what sparked your interest in construction? Why did you choose this field?
I was an interior design major at Appalachian at first, and I had a construction minor, and I ended up loving those classes way more than interior design. So I ended up transferring schools to UNC Charlotte and enjoying the construction side of things. I am a construction management major, or I was a construction management major, and I enjoyed every second of it.
Awesome. And Kim, what challenges have you faced as a woman in construction, and how did you tackle those?
So I do think that, back 20 years ago, it was way different than it is now. But, when I started, women were very underestimated. So of course, with a predominantly male field, it was not always perceived very well for them to be taking direction from a female. Um, so I think the biggest challenge was for me to really, understand construction myself and know how to do everything that I was asking anyone else that was working, for me to do. Because then I think it gained the respect that I needed, that the guys did listen to me because they did understand that I knew what I was doing. I was just not a female there to, you know, whatever, not pull my weight basically. But I think Probably the first 5 to 6 years was the toughest with, kind of getting through that hurdle of like just being underestimated or overlooked.
Mhm.
Um, and just kind of carving out my place with everyone.
Okay. And Raegan, have you faced any, challenges yourself being new in the industry, even in college or even currently on the job sites?
I think sometimes, me being young and also being a female, it can kind of not so much a setback, but people, some men in the industry will think that maybe to me coming from college, and maybe I don't know as much because I haven't been in the field as much. But I think just research and doing research and making sure I know what I'm talking about really helps. And making sure I'm reading the plans, reading the specs, and coming to people with knowledge instead of maybe not knowing what I'm talking about before going to somebody and telling them to do something or asking them a question. Doing my own research has really helped um, kind of combat people maybe thinking, well, she doesn't know what she's talking about, or I don't want to listen to her
Yeah.
type of situations.
So you think you have to work a little harder to
For sure.
really have earn that respect? And
Yeah.
Kim, what makes you excited every day to go to the job site?
Well, the biggest thing is it's something different every day. I've said it many times, but I'm just not built to be in an office every single day doing the exact same thing every single day. It's just there's a different dynamic every day, different people, different problems, different challenges. And that dynamic is just what I do love. It's not that it's not hard some days. But in the end, it's still something I love every day. I mean, and I think it's very important to love your job and not want to go to work every day.
And Kim, what advice would you give to other women, whether in the field or as a project manager, as a superintendent, really to think about, how to get started in this career?
I think that the biggest thing is to be certain of yourself. And like Raegan said, is definitely doing your research. The best thing you can ever do is, don't talk if you don't know. Listen. That's how you'll learn a lot of things. And you're not expected when you come into the industry to know everything. So, surround yourself with the people who are going to help foster the relationships that you need for you to grow in the industry and really learn what it takes to be in the industry. And I think that's probably one of the most important things is to recognize who those people are and who those people are and who will fight for you and who will help you really grow into the best person and version of yourself. um,
And kind of on top of that question, how do you see the future for women in construction, Kim and Raegan? What is the future like, do you think, for us?
I mean, more and more, I mean, as you know, I mean, I just see more and more interest all the time and more females in construction. I mean, you know, even with our own company, when I was a superintendent, I was the only girl superintendent for 12 to 15 years. So, I just see that changing because now, Raegan is coming to this role and she really wants to be a superintendent as well. And, you know, I would say in the last 5 years, I've heard that more from females that they do want to go the field route, even if it's not a long-term, solution or what they want to do long-term. They want to get the field experience first. And, I commend that because I think that's where everybody can benefit from being in the field first before being a PM.
I think you earn a level of knowledge if you start out in the field, so you understand
Yeah.
when you get to that project management role what happens in the field. So whatever if you are trying to say, hey, we need to do this out in the field, but understand, is this, can this happen? Is this, something that actually can be put into place, or, something like that? And having that knowledge, I think it does help. But
Yeah.
think there's any programs or initiatives that can be implemented to support women in the field? Does New Atlantic need to do anything different, or do you think there needs to be more not memberships, but organizations that we can join out there? Or do you think we have enough in place with Carolina AGC and NAWIC?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, there are a lot of programs out there that if women want to be in construction, then they definitely seek out those programs and, get involved. And I do think that it's still very important for us as a company. I mean, we seek individuals that can do the work and can be a benefit, and it doesn't matter gender really. Because you want to seek an individual that can do the job no matter what. I'm supposed to be interviewing, another woman in the next couple of weeks that wants to be a superintendent or assistant PM role. So, again, I think women seek it out if they want to be in this field. I don't know all the programs that are out there that, offer insight into getting women involved. But I mean, I don't know that I would change anything about what we do other than attending the events we do attend and, making sure we do engage the females, because they may end up being a little more standoffish or shy, especially when it's the men standing there. So having a female voice at a lot of these events where we are trying to engage females helps a lot, because they, I think, believe that we are more approachable to them. And I think that definitely helps.
Raegan, do you have a mentor or role model that you has helped you in your journey?
I think I would say my mom has been a really great role model of mine. She went into, the textile industry, which was at the time when she went into it, it was a male dominated field as well, and pretty much still is. And so she's kind of tackled and made her way up the ladder by just being in it for so many years. And she made a name for herself and spoke up for herself. But I think ultimately now, I mean, Kim is is my mentor too. Just in this industry, I didn't come from this industry. I don't really know anyone in this industry. I don't come from a family that's all in construction. I'm the only one. So it really has been helpful kind of having Kim as my boss and just having her as a mentor and leading me down, hopefully, big and bright things at New Atlantic.
Right. And Kim, do you have a mentor or role model? Is there someone that you've, kind of leaned on throughout the years?
Well, I mean, I think when I first started out with us, Dave Walter, our founder, he really was the one that shaped me into who I am and really how I've always approached things, and really, the way I see how we need to manage our jobs and what work we need to put in. And, and then like moving through when, kind of Dave, retired and he was out. I mean, honestly, Chris Venaneri has been probably one of the people that I have leaned on and that has helped grow and train me. Part of it was because when I first became an assistant PM, I mean, it was on his project at our parking deck in Charlotte. And, just having him be able to like answer my questions and really help me grow. I mean, I really never had, I guess, the benefit of having like like a female in my industry that could help me navigate. But, it was helpful to have the males that were in the industry that wanted to see me succeed. So, you know,
I think what sets New Atlantic apart from other companies is access to our management. I mean, when you're speaking of Chris, that is our vice president of operations. So
yeah,
having him as a mentor, I mean, that's a great person. I mean, I can walk into John's office and ask him a question, which is our president, at any time. And a lot of companies just don't have that accessibility.
yeah,
I think that really sets our team up, for success, even, down to our carpenters in the field, they can walk into John's office or Chris or Glenn or Jay's. They're all accessible through any time throughout the day, which is,
yep.
a plus. How do you both handle, like balance your work-life balance? Like, how do you handle that in this demanding industry?
Um,
I don't have any children, so it's a little easier because, I think that it would be a challenging role, like to be in the field, and have a family, because even though we say it should not be, that the bulk of, raising the children falls on the mother, sometimes it does. But it is challenging because we get in at 7, sometimes we don't leave until 7. It's a lot of long hours. I mean, it's rewarding. I mean, for us, I will say that not all companies are like this, but I have the ability to, I do what it takes to get the job done, but then we have downtime as well where it's not so super busy. So it's hard to balance sometimes, but the best thing about it is we have a great support system at New Atlantic, to where if you are getting overwhelmed or you need, a helping hand or a little bit of help, then, it's not like it's not there. But, I don't really know, like, really the secrets to doing that. I mean, you really just, it's individuals, and you just have to get in there and you have to do it. I would say when you're starting out younger, you do want to make a name for yourself. So, as females in construction, I remember always wanting to be the first on the job and the last to leave, just because I wanted people to know I would put in the work, put in the hard work to get where I am. So, that's what you do.
Yep. Raegan?
I think too, having a good support team on each job, maybe rotating who's closing or opening that day, helps too. I think, not everyone should have to, stay till 8 o'clock every day if they have to. If they don't have to, I think sometimes it could be rotated, but obviously if you need to get your work done, you stay and get your work done. I don't necessarily want to bring, once I get home, I'm back on my computer and working nonstop. So I try to always get my work done before I go home, so that I don't have to bring work home. But it all just depends on how much work you got to do that day.
Yeah, I think I do the same thing, but if I need to take my daughter to school or go to one of her events, they make it very easy for you to do so. It's not a challenge at New Atlantic. They're very family oriented, as a company as a whole, and I think that really helps. It makes our job a lot easier, whether in the field or in the office. So kind of winding down here, and Kim and Raegan, right now, what do you love most about working in construction? Like, what's that main thing that you like?
I mean, for me, it's the challenges every day, but I do love being a part of something from the ground up. And, watching it start, watching it going through all the struggles to get to where you are, all the relationships that we build and friendships with owners and architects and engineers. And, you know, you have to foster those relationships to be successful. And, you know, we try to create teams on our projects, but then seeing all of that, you know, as success at the end to, you know, a finished product where everybody walks away happy and, you know, a beautiful building or whatever we're working on. So
I think right now mine is learning. I think I enjoy the most about construction is learning right now because I just got out of college and I'm still trying to figure out what construction is and how everything is built and how everything's put together. And I enjoy learning new things every day, coming to the job site and seeing things being put in and just kind of standing there and watching subcontractors do their work. I just enjoy learning how each type of material goes in and how a building is actually put together. And I think, you know, I haven't really seen that besides being on, you know, having internships and just starting here at New Atlantic. So it's exciting to see.
I know Ricky, our past president, he would, you know, he would talk about how the buildings that he built, you know, 20, 25 years ago, now they're undergoing renovations, which is kind of, you know, it's exciting, but, you know, where he's touched, like his, you know, projects throughout North Carolina and Virginia. I know when you get a lot of projects beneath your belt going around and seeing that, I mean, it's got to be an amazing feeling that you help build the communities in which we live. So just Kim, and how is your, you know, working together as first, you know, Raegan as an intern and now as a colleague to Kim, and, you know, the same Kim, how has that relationship and experience been so far?
I mean, it's been great for me. I mean, it's great to have, you know, number one, another female. And, you know, she is so extremely smart and sensible. And it's actually helps me a lot. You know, just having a project engineer in Raegan that I can trust, I can put tasks to. So I've enjoyed every minute of it. I don't think I'm too terribly tough. I know I can be tough at times, but what I say is like, you know, you want tough from me because you're going to get tough in this industry. So, you know, I hope she takes that, you know, and knows that, you know, it's just me training her for what she's going to be in store for. So
Having confidence.
Yeah, I think her toughness has definitely helped me in the long run.
Yeah, I love coming out to the job sites, you know, for our subcontractor appreciation lunches. Kim's very organized, but I also look when I'm sitting back and taking photos, I'm noticing the relationships that she's built with the owners, and more importantly, the relationships she's built with the subcontractors. There's a level of respect. They're also, when she tells them to do something, they go and do it because they have you know, that respect for her, but they're also laughing and enjoying. She knows their names. I think you've done a really good job at that, Kim, to build those relationships, which are important in the future for future projects, for new, you know, for best pricing on our projects. I think Kim's helped establish that, and I think you have a great mentor and leader to learn under. So I think that's great. But if you have any other questions or any more input or final thoughts you know, about women in construction, you can go ahead, or we can. I know we have buildings to build and proposals to prepare today. So, so
no, thank you for including us in this. We're, you
thank
know,
you for
we love
taking the time.
construction, so it'd be nice to have more strong women in it.
And thank you for taking the time to do this today. I think this is very important. But have a wonderful day.
All right. Thank you.
You as well.
Bye.
Bye.